now, from the BuckeyeTV studios on the banks of the Olentangy River, it's time for Campus View. Here are your hosts, Matt Goldman and Katie Stupak.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Groundhog's Day. I'm Matt Goldman.
And I'm Katie Stupak.
We have a lot to unpack. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, so 6 more weeks of winter. And now we have the Super Bowl coming up in just over a little over a week in Glendale, Arizona, between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Katie, it's going to be a great game and some fun weather.
It will be a great game. 2 amazing teams. I'm really excited to watch. Also excited for the commercials.
Now we have Athena and Brandon here. The NFC champion, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs, both had very unique paths to get here. What are your thoughts going in this game, Athena?
Mainly my thoughts are around the Brother Bowl. I'm very excited to see Jason and Travis play together, which I think is going to be super fun, especially experience with their mother. I keep seeing TikToks about how there's a petition that their mom wants to flip the coin before pregame, which I think would be super fun. So that's what mainly I'm excited for going to this game.
I mean, I don't know if we need to recognize this or not because we are going to Ohio State right now, but technically it's not the first time brothers have faced off in the Super Bowl. We saw Jim and John Harbaugh face each other in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, though, between these two teams. So.
And you're talking about Jason and Travis Kelce. Either way, Mrs. Kelce's going to be pretty happy.
Exactly.
One of their sons is going to win a Super Bowl. They both have already each won a Super Bowl with their respective teams. So let's start with Philadelphia. They beat San Francisco pretty bad last week against Brock Purdy, and then Brock Purdy got hurt. What'd you like from Philadelphia and the way they played and kind of dominated at home?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for them was they felt really comfortable, especially playing at home, with those fans all backing them. I would not want to have been to a 49er in that instance. I think that's a really tough stadium to play in. So I think for them, the comfortability really made them, it didn't feel like a super big playoff game for them, that kind of atmosphere. But obviously the Super Bowl is a much bigger instance for them. So I think there will be those nerves heading in. But I think if they tap back into that comfortability, they'll be just fine.
The streets were absolutely rowdy.
Yes.
Rowdy.
Yes. Again, I would not have wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Those Eagles fans are pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm
Right.
not the biggest Eagles girl. But either way, I think it's going to be a great game.
They greased the polls, but they still somehow were managed
Yeah.
to get up and
Yeah.
crowd the streets.
Right.
I'm telling you, Eagles fans are determined. Nothing is going to stop them.
And I'm interested to see, too, because the Eagles really haven't faced stiff competition at all in these playoffs so far. I mean, they get away with not even having to face the Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
He was the last pick in the draft, from what I remember, right? And I think it's interesting that they didn't even have to face him. I don't know how they're going to react now, having to face probably the best player in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but it'd be interesting to see how they react to that.
I would say he's a little overrated.
Why do you
I'm
think
in
that's
that
a hot
camp
take?
as well.
It is a hot take. I do think he's overrated. I think he is working with weapons. He does have a great arm, but put anyone else in that position working
Besides Travis
with
Kelce, what
Kelce.
else? I mean, they lost every kill last offseason. They don't really have a good running back. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco, he's fine, I guess. I don't know. I would actually argue that Jalen Hurts is the one that's working with a lot more weapons.
He is
than
working with
Eagles.
weapons as well. Overall, I think the quarterbacks are pretty matched up, evenly, but I think it's just going to come down to who could defend better.
It'd be interesting.
How do you defend Patrick Mahomes?
It's tough. I don't know. You can't really drop in zone because when you start playing in zone, he's just going to be able to dice you up. I mean, Travis Kelce runs 6-8 yard hitch. He's just going to find that open zone. I don't know. If you play man-to-man, though, I think I'd feel a little bit better about that. Maybe have a linebacker and have safety over top, help with Travis Kelce, and then just run the risk of Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I don't know. I guess see if he can beat you one-on-one. Other than that, I don't know.
He's also got a very high football IQ, so that's something you have to compete with as well. The physical ability obviously is there. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but he's also very intelligent and knows how to play in a tough game. He's been in the situation before, so going into that with that prior experience is going to help the Chiefs get there.
And a funny storyline, Nick Sirianni, the head coach for the Eagles, used to be on the Kansas City staff as an assistant coach. Andy Reid, the Kansas City coach, used to be the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. So you have those storylines as well. And to have neutral site in Arizona, both fan bases very dedicated, very loud in their respective stadiums. What fan base do you think is more passionate and will bring the energy in Arizona?
Eagles.
Yeah, it's got to be the Eagles. I mean,
Easily.
Cowboys fans here, going into Philadelphia at any point is difficult, so they're going to travel well. So.
Yeah, and you talked about the Andy Reid situation. I think that he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Eagles fans did not treat him well back in his day. There was a lot of drama going in when he when he left and everything. I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to coach like he has a chip on his
Do
shoulder.
you think
too.
this is kind of like a revenge game for him?
I would say so, yeah.
I agree.
And you talk about chip on the shoulder. Jalen Hurts' story is so unique. He went to Alabama. He was the starting quarterback, got benched in a national championship game to Tua Tagovailoa, transferred to Oklahoma, started there, was a Heisman finalist, got drafted second round. A lot of people called him overrated in the second round. That pick really wasn't a great pick by the Eagles. Now he's in this position in a Super Bowl within the first 3 years of his career. He's been unbelievable. Brandon, just talk about what impact he's had in Philadelphia under Nick Sirianni.
It's going to be interesting, though, I think, to see how he looks in this like highly pressurized situation. Because up to this point, like I said before, I don't think Jalen Hurts has been pressed into any sort of situation where he'd be super uncomfortable. And I think with Chris Jones up front for Kansas City, it's going to be really difficult. He's going to get pressure in his face early. And he's also still dealing with, I believe, a shoulder injury. It'll be interesting to see if he'll still be able to run effectively and take hits, and if we'll be able to throw downfield. He does have a lot of weapons. It'll be interesting to see how he responds in the spotlight. Patrick Mahomes is a lot more comfortable on this stage.
I agree, but I do think that Jalen brings a sense of coolness about him. I've never really seen him get frazzled on the field, and I think that's going to be super key. Like you said, in a game where you've got really passionate fan bases and there's a lot of kind of drama going in this with Andy Reid, like we just talked about, I've never seen Jalen Hurts get really frazzled, and so I think him keeping that cool, calm, collected atmosphere is going to be really important for his game.
So as we mentioned, the Kelsey brothers are both on separate teams. Their mom is going to be very excited no matter which way it goes. But which dynamic do you like better? Mahomes and Kelsey or Hurts and Kelsey?
Oh, Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a classic duo at this point. It's going to be one for the books, years down the road into their careers. I just think they're a classic pairing, and I'm excited to see them again in the Super Bowl atmosphere. And they kind of just bring an air of confidence that I think is going to be important.
It's like a Gronk and Brady.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking about Brady, he retired.
Well,
How exciting is this?
I mean, sorry if that's a hot
Again.
take. Again, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, God is real. Tom Brady was
Exactly.
finally
He
retired.
could come back in like 2 weeks and say he's coming back. So
I
who
wouldn't
knows?
doubt it.
I would not doubt
But
it
I
either.
think last season he realized that his career is kind of over.
Yeah.
It's done.
I think he was a little bit embarrassed, if I'm going to be so real.
Yeah.
He came back, and obviously he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. There's no denying that, but did not end his season as the greatest quarterback
Do you
of all
think
time.
he's
So
embarrassed because how he left his family? Or do you think it's
Yes.
because of how he played?
Both.
Both.
Totally both.
Interesting.
Well, he lost to your Cowboys. That makes
That
it a
he
little
did.
better.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Seeing Tom Brady actually look mortal on that stage was pretty, I don't know, it made me feel a lot better.
It did.
my position.
I'm
warms
still
your
wounded by
heart.
the end of the Cowboys
A little
season,
bit.
but yeah.
Well, the NFL loves to bring a lot of drama, but we have our next topic coming up next, Valentine's Day here on Buckeye TV. We'll be back in just a moment after this.